literally walking into the lobby of the Kalahari Resort and just seeing the most insane amount of cosplays I've ever seen.
It was like a never-ending party, a never-ending anime party.
We've said this on the show so many times, like there's nothing that compares to like an anime convention with anime fans, especially anime cosplayers, because they are just so excited about their craft and their characters and their franchises. They want to share the love for them, and they get so hyped when you're hyped about their cosplay.
Cosplay contest was unlike any we have ever seen. It was a cosplay masquerade. There were performances for like the first hour of the cosplay contest. What about you, Gigi? What is your final thoughts?
I give it a...
Welcome everybody to Con Culture Podcast, Colossal Con Edition. That's right. We're here to talk about Colossal Con. We had the amazing opportunity to go down to the Kalahari Resort and experience Colossal Con Texas. You're going to get our thoughts on it, what we thought about it, what we thought about the panels, what we thought about the cosplay contest, what we thought about the cosplayers, and the resort overall. So those are going to be the rundown that we're going to give you, starting with our first impressions. Gigi, what was your first impression of Colossal Con? What vibe did you get walking into this place?
Oh, I mean, like literally walking into the lobby of the Kalahari Resort and just seeing the most insane amount of cosplays I've ever seen.
Right out the gate.
I mean, we've been to so many cons over the last 5 years, and this one I've never seen. I felt like I was literally in an anime with the amount of it was like you couldn't turn anywhere without seing
and we got there at 7
group.
p.m.
We were in the beach episode.
It was like shutting down for the day. It was so cool. That was, I think, I was in shock, walking in, because first of all, the resort is beautiful. There's so many picturesque areas. And then on top of that, there are cosplayers at covering every inch of it, just dressed to the nine. So it was it was really cool. So that's was my first impression.
That's awesome. What about you, Krista? What was your first impression when you got to Colossal Con?
Well, same thing. As soon as we stepped into that lobby, just so many people. I've never, like you said, we got there so late, and I've never seen so many cosplayers still out and about in the lobby. So it was really cool to see. It was like a never-ending party, a never-ending anime party. So
it looked like it was just getting started.
Yes, everybody was just looking for each other, trying to hook up with everybody, and let's go to this next place. It was insane, and I was so excited the second we got there and I saw that. I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing.
I agree.
What about you,
that.
Trey?
It, just like Gigi said, it felt like stepping into an anime. I felt like walking to the beach episode of every anime, just seeing everybody there. And I don't know, I'm a sci-fi nerd. It gave me big Lost in Paradise themes from Fifth Element, just huge resort.
Oh my gosh, it did.
It was just amazing.
It did help that we saw those cosplayers.
We did see Ruby Rod, so that kind of helped a little bit. It was like, shit, I feel like I'm in the Fifth Element right now.
Yes.
Incredible. And then I overheard, it was so funny seeing Gigi and Krista when we first there, was looking around, and I overheard Gigi say this, and I got to commend her because I feel the exact same way. It's like, we've been wanting to go to this con for years. Not only the one
we've missed it twice.
Yeah, missed it twice. And then just seeing this con online throughout the years, this looks like so much fun. Then we're finally there. It was just like a surreal moment. Holy cow, we're in Colossal Con. Everyone's dressed up in the cosplays. We're here. We're at the resort. We're at the Kalahari.
Yeah, it was fun. It was dark when we got there, but yeah, as soon as we entered the lobby, boom, you knew what you were in for. It was cosplaying. It was partying. Everybody was going to be up till 2 a.m. in the lobby, and in whatever was open. They had late night eateries, which was really cool. You could stop and get a bite to eat, even late night. So I was a fan of the vibe immediately. I walked in, got us checked in, and we had to go up to the room, but we couldn't wait to kind of put our stuff away and just come kind of be in the vibe
and explore.
And it wasn't all woo. Exactly. There was also chill vibes. There were people chilled out on the couches, just kind of conversing in cosplay. So there was a mix of high energy. There was a mix of drinking, and then there was a mix of just chill people. So
it was very
it was
welcoming
a vibe for everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, it was very.
It was welcoming. It was like a comforting convention with how big it was.
Yes. And speaking of size, the size of this venue and the water park and the access that you had to this thing was massive. You had a giant indoor water park and you had a huge outdoor water park. Then down the escalator, you had the whole convention area. You had vendor spaces, panels, outdoor shopping strips, bars. You had so much going on. So the size of this thing is huge. Like, we can see it from as soon as we pulled up to the road, even down the road, you can see the lights like beaming off this venue.
It was
so,
like,
It's
yeah, it was like
crazy.
Mecca. Like,
I think I
it
even
was
said in the
like-
truck, I was like, is that it? Like, what is that?
yeah, I think that
Yeah,
like
'cause it's like
there was
nothing.
a choir singing whenever we pulled up.
yeah, it's out there, and you're like, are we going the right way, kind of thing, because you're starting to see less and less of stuff.
Mhm.
Just gas stations, like a fast food spot, and then it just kind of looks like trees, and then boom, there it is by the tracks.
An oasis.
So yeah, no, this venue is massive. What did you guys think of just not only the scale of the venue, but the overall atmosphere? What did y'all think of that? Gigi, we'll go again with
I
you.
personally loved that it was like everything that you needed was there on site. You didn't need to leave to go get food. You didn't need to leave to go get even like toiletries. Like they had
Yes.
multiple shops on site. And I loved that because I am all for, like, whenever we go to these conventions, we're not always the best at planning ahead for our personal
Nope.
needs with like getting food or making sure, there's always like
We
oh
got
my God, I
mics, we
forgot
got
deodorant.
cameras.
Yeah.
Who
But
needs
we
food
forgot
and
Need
water?
anything else?
Like,
Who got
coffee.
sun-
It's
who
like,
got
oh my
pastries.
gosh.
You guys got some sunblock? Anybody? No one?
Right.
No one has sunblock. Okay.
So that was great. And that, like,
Yes.
it was really nice to stay at a place where it's like we parked the truck and we didn't leave again until it was time to go, because everything that we would have possibly needed was there at the venue. And that was very, very nice. And I loved that. And there was options because, we stayed at places at, hotels where they have only one restaurant there, or there's like one quick service. But here there were multiple restaurants, multiple quick service. There was coffee in the morning with pastries, or you could go get pizza, or you could go to that macaroni restaurant. Like there were so many options. So I really, really loved that. Like I will be going back to the Kalahari. Even like I would love to go back for Colossal Con. I would also love to go back just to experience the
back.
Kalahari.
What about you, Krista? What was your thoughts of the venue?
Like I said, I was in awe the second we like pulled up, or like we're driving down the street and I saw it. The first thing I saw was like Tomfooleries, which is the little arcade in there. And I was like, is that it? And then it was like spanned so far. Anyway, I was like in awe of it. And then like the con itself, yes, it was a big venue, but I didn't feel like I was like overstimulated like I do at some other like larger cons. Like I think everything was just so spread out. Everything was so spread out, and it was great. It was a great experience, and for it being so large, I was fine. I was taking it all in. That mac and cheese, like I'm gonna just
it was
keep
easy to maneuver.
and it was easy to maneuver, except the elevators.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
The elevators could be nightmares at times. What about you, Trey? What'd you think of the venue going in?
It was just, I was just so impressed with just the scale and size of it all. Like Gigi and Chris were saying, all the different options. Like you could seriously eat at a different restaurant every single day and not get bored with the
For
options.
every meal.
Yeah, every meal almost. And like one of my favorite parts, they had like a taco truck in the front in the lobby where I got breakfast tacos one morning. I was just like, this place is incredible. And then of course, it's like the con never stops. So it's like you're seeing cosplayers throughout the whole day, which is what we love.
Really
like, I love whenever a convention is connected with the venue like that, where it's just the whole con is the whole venue is the con basically.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. It does feel like the con's going on after things close, because the outdoor water park closed at 5, but then the indoor kept going till 9. And even when that closed, the eateries stayed open. People were in the lobby drinking. The bar was still open, so you can get drinks. You can chill outside by the fire. Like there was no shortage of spots to chill, and everybody's vibe was just immaculate. Everyone was having a fun time. They were all there for the same reason. It almost seemed as if the only guest in the hotel were there for the con. That wasn't the case because there was families there, there were other people there. But after a certain while, it was like, yeah, after 8 o'clock or so, it was just cosplayers. It was cosplayers and con goers all in the lobby, completely dominated every inch of that place. Families went to bed and they made all the noise they could in the lobby, but you couldn't hear it on the other floor. So I don't think it was too big a deal for the guests there.
And I will say the cosplayers that were there were very respectful of other people's space. And I think that that has to do with the actual convention itself, Colossal Con, having very they have boundaries. They, whenever you go to pick up your badge, they've really laid that out where it's like, hey, don't be a jerk. Like, don't be a jerk or you're gonna get, you're gonna have consequences. And of course, like,
they're
nobody
properly communicated the expectation of the vibe they were trying to go for. Yeah,
I loved that.
I agree.
So
it was good, and not only was it huge in scale, but it was vast in things to do. The panels, there was so much to do actually that we didn't even get a chance to go to a lot of the panels that we wanted to.
Yeah,
there was so many panels, and they had a full schedule, so multiple panels would be going on at the same time, but you would have a nice schedule to let you know when certain things were going on, so you wouldn't miss it. You could kind of set your schedule on what you wanted to attend and go by that. So that was, I think, a great aspect of this con, is everything was nicely scheduled. It not only scheduled, it told you where in the con it was. So it'd give you the hall that you needed to go to, or the auditorium, or if it was outdoors, it would tell you that it was outdoors. So everything was located. It had a map on the same website that it had the schedule. So you can kind of plan your day on where you were going to go. Planning is not our strongest suit, so we kind of just flew by the seat of our pants.
Better.
We have, but we are strongly, we go off vibe. We operate on vibes. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we let the con tell us what we're gonna do.
Yes, we just go with the vibes of the con, and where we get sucked into, which led us to some amazing places. And we got some amazing content. We stumbled right into a Mario meetup, which I think was so
that was so cute.
And they were all
great.
sweet.
That area was awesome. It's so many cosplayers were there. But yeah, the panels were great. I think they were very well organized. The cosplay contest was unlike any we have ever seen. It was a cosplay masquerade. There were performances for like the first hour of the cosplay contest was all performances, and they were getting judged on those performances. And then after those skits was the craftsman cosplay competition, where you judged on the complexity, the crafting, and the build of the cosplay, as well as the performance. So I thought it was very nice, very awesome, very entertaining watching those cosplayers not only in cosplay, but doing their thing for skits.
Yeah, so doing dances or singing or like skits. I loved it.
It was so insane. Yeah. I loved it.
The MCs.
And it was so well organized. The MCs were great. And I actually got to run into one of them after the fact and was like, you killed that hosting thing. You murdered that hosting. It was lighthearted. It was fun. They pronounced the names way better than I would be able to. So yeah, that's it was like, great. It was a great time. Yes, it was an hour and a half to 2 hours, but I enjoyed every second of it.
It was,
and you can't always say that in cosplay
just
contests.
At 2 hours.
Yeah, it hit, and like, our cameras almost struggled to get it all because it was so much going on.
I literally,
like my batteries died.
I literally had to like delete stuff. It was like I had that brief intermission.
Yeah,
intermission.
I went live on our TikTok, and I had 100% when I got there, and I was praying that I would get the very end of like the person who won the whole thing, because I was at like 2% by the end of that. It was like
when they started announcing the winners.
It's like, come on!
I had to just take photos because I didn't have enough battery to shoot video, so I was recharging 2 batteries while taking photos of some of the winners. And at the end, I was able to pop it back in and get the last few first place. What were the categories? All the journeymen and the best in show and all those. I was able to get those categories on video, which we are still sifting through. That was another thing. We got so much amazing content at this show that we are to this day still sifting through that.
Well, and then like usually you go to conventions and like, we'll have issues with like trying to get content because, you have like a camera malfunction or a mic malfunction, and we have no malfunctions. So, which is great.
Everything went
But
so
also
good.
we were like, well, now we have so much content that we need to
Go through.
and then it's like every single person that we talked to was so talented and so great in
Yes.
front of the camera. And we're like, well, crap. Like, what
All
are
of this is usable.
that's
Everything is usable. And that's a
Yeah.
great segue. That's a great, great segue into our next, which is crowd and cosplay. Because there was so many cosplayers and they were so willing to talk. Trey, what were your thoughts on the crowd there and the vibe that you were getting for cosplayers? Because you were asking everybody if you can grab a photo of their cosplays. So what was that like?
We've said this on the show so many times. Like, there's nothing that
Mm-hmm.
compares to like an anime convention with anime fans, especially anime cosplayers, because they are just so excited about their craft and their characters and their franchises. They want to share the love for them, and they get so hyped when you're hyped about their cosplay, and just interacting with all these
Yes.
cosplayers. It was just amazing, and just it just fills your heart, like, because you're just having these nice bonding moments, like, I love your cosplay. And then we ran into a few folks that were like, oh my gosh, we follow you, and it's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And it was just so reassuring, and just love those moments like that. It's like, okay, we're spotlighting these folks and we know it's showing, and it just, I don't know, just makes my heart smile.
That's awesome. What about you, Krista? How was your experience with the cosplayers and the crowds?
It was great. Like I've never seen like such a sheer amount of cosplayers at a convention. I mean, like I've been to like Dallas is probably the biggest con I've ever been to.
Mm-hmm.
This felt like a step up with the cosplays, and it was so cool. And they were all super nice and willing to
Yes.
take videos and photos, and even so patient. I will say they were very patient with me because you handed me a new piece of tech and I was
Yeah.
struggling to figure it out. And so there were multiple times where I was like, I was doing it and the camera was like staying up here and I was like, oh no, it's not getting it. And so I'm like, we got to do that again. And they're like, yeah, sure,
Yeah.
take your time, like, and so they'd let me do it again. And luckily, I don't think
That's
I needed to take any more than like 3 tries, but they were so patient, so nice. And it was great to see that amount
Yeah,
of
that's not always the
cosplayers.
case.
Mhm.
Not always the case with cosplayers at other cons.
Yeah.
What about you, Gigi? What was your experience with the crowds
Yeah.
and the cosplayers there?
Well, I mean, I had very similar experiences to Trey and Krista where everybody was just so like willing to let us do our thing so that we can showcase them. But also
Yes.
I witnessed just like people meeting each other for the first time that maybe they've been like mutuals online. And so I got a few
Yeah.
times where I see people hugging because they haven't seen each other and that maybe this is their first time meeting and they've been friends or online or they haven't seen each other since the last year.
Yes.
So just like walking around, it really felt like it was such a welcoming environment and such a safe environment. And I think that's from all of the con goers, that's from the con staff. It was just the staff at the Kalahari. It was really good vibes all around.
All around. 100% agree with that. The crowds were plentiful, but not overbearing or overpowering. You never
Yeah.
felt, unless you were getting in an elevator, you never felt like, oh man, I can't navigate this thing.
Yeah.
It's too much. It's too many people. Even the pools had plenty of space to kind of roam around and
Because they have
enjoy
like
them.
5 pools to choose from just outside.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I'm agree with y'all. I'm gonna agree with y'all. The people and the cosplayers were so nice and so sweet and willing to take time out to do a video
Mhm.
or to shoot a piece of content with us or to allow us to get photos of their cosplay. And that's not always the case.
Sorry.
And nobody owes us anything. They don't owe us
Mm-mm.
stopping and getting it. But yeah, no, this con, it seems like everybody was willing to kind of be like, oh yeah, take some photos, or yeah, I did this, and they were very excited about their
Mhm.
cosplay and wanting to share it.
Mhm.
So yeah, the vibe here was amazing. The crowds were great. Speaking of crowd, in that cosplay contest was the best crowd I have ever seen in any cosplay contest ever. The love that they were pouring onto that stage
Mhm.
for every single cosplayer.
Mhm.
every single performer that went up had people screaming at the top of their lungs.
Yeah.
Literally at the top of their lungs.
It was like the baseline for like cheering level was like the loudest I've ever heard at a different convention. That was like the bottom line. And then it just escalated from there. It was really amazing.
One person got a standing ovation that we got on camera. It was so amazing. Her vocal performance. She actually sang
Vampire
XO. Standing ovation. Vampire XO murdered that crowd, and we were all in the palm of their hand.
I mean, I didn't want her to stop singing.
No, either. They called her back out because the crowd was giving a standing O and would not stop going crazy. So they were called back out, and they were like, oh my God. Oh, they also called out another cosplayer because it was their birthday.
Oh,
going to let them walk off stage without singing them happy birthday. So a crowd of thousands of people were singing happy birthday to this cosplayer and brought them to tears.
That was such a beautiful
That's what Colossal Con was about.
Yes.
That's what the crowd was like. That's what the vibe was like. That's what the cosplayers were like. Colossal Con was one of the most positive and chill and just
supportive and
positive. Supportive. Yes, that's the word I was looking for.
Supportive.
All the good words and vibes. All of the good words and vibes. Colossal Con nailed it. So yeah, definitely have to go back. Can't wait to go to another one. But the people there, chef's kiss. Some of the best we've ever encountered.
100%.
We've been to cons all over the country. And this was definitely in a league of its own as far as just supportiveness and kindness. So, which I love.
We're all about that Colossal Con culture.
Not only was there amazing cosplayers there, but the vendors were also great. We all, I think, bought some things while we were there. We bought snacks, we bought plushies, we bought collectibles. There was just so much to get and so much to choose from. Not to mention, they also had like this awesome pop-up flea market type on Sunday.
That was so cool.
Which, yes.
Never seen that before.
So what was y'all's take on like vendors, starting with Trey, and then we'll work our way back. What was your take on the vendors and the selection and just the unique stuff you saw?
Like you just said, like the flea market set up on Sunday was just, I've never seen anything like that. And it was just so cool, just giving these people a space to sell their stuff, whether it be some mangas or some ramen or some plushies, like you name it. Like there was a little bit of everything.
Video games.
It was just incredible to see.
What about you, Krista? What did you think of the vendor selection here?
I thought they were great. I loved Artist Alley. They had just and anime conventions just have like the best like vendors. They have such like a
cute.
They're so cute. They've got all these little chibi anime characters, and it's just so great. And I wanted to buy more, but my wallet would hate me. I couldn't
It's one of those where you had to force yourself.
Yes,
force yourself to be responsible.
It was like the like devil and angel on my shoulder, just like
100%.
No, do it. No.
Yes, the battle was real.
Yes.
I think we failed one time because Belinda saw something she liked, and y'all saw characters y'all liked. They were like, "What's the bundle?"
We adopted Pokemon.
Bundle.
We did the bundle.
Yeah. It's a deal.
Yeah.
So, exactly, it's a deal. What about you, Gigi? What was your take on the vendors?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, like Trey and Krista just said, I mean, there was something for everybody there. And that I loved that. And then I also loved in Artist Alley, it was a no camera zone because they were trying to protect their artist to make sure their artwork wasn't stolen, which that is a big thing that has happened.
We see that
in the past, which is upsetting that happens.
Yeah.
So I love that they are really trying to take care of their artist. And it's not like, they're like, oh, you can't even have your phone out. Like, we had our cameras around our necks and they weren't like, oh, no cameras in here. But they, like, they tell you these expectations whenever you go to pick up your badges. And they're like, hey, one of the no camera zones or no picture zone, no video zone is Artist Alley because we are trying to protect our artist. And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, that makes absolutely perfect sense. So I really liked that. I thought that was unique, and it felt I don't know, it just felt really nice to have a convention really appreciate their artists in that way and protect their
Agreed. I
artists in
think
that
this
way.
con walked a really fine line between satisfying the consumer and supporting their vendors and supporting the artists that were there. I think they did a great job striking that balance. There was rules in place for the protection of the artist, but that did not negatively affect the enjoyment of the
Yeah,
consumer
not
and
at
the people
all.
at the con. We were all still buying stuff. We didn't care that we couldn't like get pans of all the stuff that we were seeing. We understood, we respected it, we supported with our wallets and got
Mm-hmm.
some really cool stuff. I love the vendors and the selection that they had. It wasn't as large as like a fan expo or a superhero comic con, but it was unique, it was fun, and it also had that warm atmosphere that the
Mhm.
cosplayers and the crowd gave. The vendors had just the same, which was pretty awesome to see. So yeah, the vendors were great, made everybody feel special. We all left with something special. Speaking of
Yes, we
special
did.
things, what are your special highlights for this con? What's something that stood out for you from this con? We'll start with Gigi and then we'll work our way around. What was a special highlight for you?
I mean, I keep saying it, but really it was
Mm-hmm.
just like the connections that were made to cosplayers. Like we met cosplayers that, maybe have followed us online or we've never seen them before, and just getting to connect with them and, get get them excited about future events that we're planning coming up soon. So keep an eye out for that.
That
So that was
suspenseful music.
right. That was fun. And then, just like the getting to take pictures of people and they're like, "Me? Like you want to take a picture of me?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
like you
you
look
Yeah, you look
amazing."
amazing.
So
Get
that
out
was
of my head.
for me. Yes. So yeah,
What
that
about
was
you,
it for me.
Krista?
The highlight is for me was the cosplay contest because I'd never seen a cosplay contest like that. I've only seen the like craftsman walkouts, which is great, but
Yeah.
having that little added extra like performances I was in awe, and I was like, I felt like because I had the TikTok, I was live on TikTok for us. And so I was stabilizing it because we didn't have a tripod. So I was stabilizing it with my swimsuit. And so it was right here. And I felt, I started getting emotional at the girl who was singing, sang the opera. And I was feeling the chest heaves come on. And I was like, no, no, because the camera's
Don't
going to
show
zoom
your
in.
girl.
I was like, control yourself. Like, and it was just not gonna be good. Or like,
I'm imagining you holding back the tears because you don't want camera shake on the live.
yeah,
That's dedication.
or like when the goofy goober guy person
Ah,
came on,
yeah.
I just wanted to laugh, but again, I was like, "Don't you do it? Don't you do it?"
I'm a statue.
Because I was
That goofy goober performance.
also right next to the microphone, and I didn't want my ugly laugh to come out on TikTok live. So I was like really trying to control my emotions, but
Yeah.
there were
I'm
times I
proud of
lost
you.
it. I lost it, and the TikTok
Oh.
people got like the shake a little bit. But
The standing ovation without moving.
yeah, but that one I did
Yeah.
take it out, and I like got the crowd because I was like I didn't even know what the crowd was doing behind me, and I looked and I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, so let me just
Yeah.
like
That's the reaction I had because I was front and center
yeah,
recording and I like
Yeah.
picked up the whole tripod and like wrapped around the mirrorless camera to get it.
It was so
uh,
cool.
It was
that was
great.
a highlight, like, and of the cosplay contest, like the opera singing, the goofy goober, just all of it was great.
The Goofy Goober
Yes.
came out of left field. I had no idea
Yes.
what was
Feel.
about to happen. That was like,
Yeah,
I was like, okay, they're taking,
they
okay,
took
they
a
have a
minute to
lot of
set up.
props. They have a
Yeah,
lot of props.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, this is going to
Wow.
be interesting.
That's so hype.
And then,
Then the monologue started.
yes, and then we were like, oh,
Here we go.
oh my gosh.
my God.
It's about to go down.
SpongeBob. That was so great. And then it was like, oh, I see now why it took you a minute to set up because you had so many props
Yeah,
for this
they
piece.
fully utilized the stage. It was
Yes.
so good to see. It was,
amazing.
and that was with everyone on stage. Took a lot of time out. Trey, what was your special memory?
Whew. I'm gonna have to piggyback off of Chris a bit. I mean, it's the cosplay contest, but specifically
Mhm.
Vampire XO. I mean, I was just in awe and shock because like anyone that knows opera, it's like that's not just something you just pick up and just start singing. Like, and she
No.
was nailing each one of those notes, and that's like a very difficult opera song. I mean, I'm not a huge opera expert, but like heard that song before, and I've heard
Yeah,
people
what is
like
the name of
online. I've heard people online like trying to mimic it and just failing horribly, and it's hilarious. But she
Yeah.
was killing it. At first, I was like, no,
Yeah.
she's not really singing. This is a recording, and it was like, no, she is singing the hell out of this song.
Yeah.
And just
Yes.
slaying this crowd. And then, of course,
Yeah. In the palm of her hand.
and the whole time, like, you know, they're announcing the winners. I'm like, okay, they better be giving her like the big one, like just going straight up. She won best in prize for the showman, and it was just
Yes.
Spoiler alert! Oh
Yeah.
my gosh!
well deserved and well deserved.
100%.
100% well deserved. I think my special memory would have to be just the time spent together as a team. I think we nailed it. This is probably our cleanest convention that we covered, where we had a goal, we nailed the goal, and still got to enjoy everything together. We got to have dinner as a team, which was great. That was an awesome memory and fun time at a bar. But we also got to experience the water park. It's the special memory, I guess, is all the things we got to do together, which was fun, and hopefully get the chance to do again. But yeah, that's my special memory, is the time that I spent with you guys and my lovely wife. Just no. Yeah. And the fact that our hard work was rewarded. You know, the videos are doing great, the content's doing great, the con loved us so much that I guess I can announce it here. Spoiler alert, we kind of got invited to the remainder of Colossal Cons that they're having. So we have the opportunity to go to all the other Colossal Cons that we can. There are a lot. I think there's 5 Colossal Cons with North, East, Texas, Prime. Like there's so many, and West, North, East, West, Texas, and Prime. So 5 Colossal Cons. We will go to as many as we can.
One of like at least a portion of our team to each one of them. So
we're definitely gonna try. I was gonna try for East and PA, but it's sold out. So the hotel's sold out. The Kalahari is sold out. I tried. But no, yeah, we're grateful, super grateful. That's my special memory, is what we did as a team. So now we go down to overall ratings. We got the warm and fuzzies. We talked about everything we liked. What did we rate this con? You can probably tell that they're going to be great ratings based off how we've been ranting about everything we like about it. But we'll start with Trey and work our way back to me. Trey, what did you give this con? Final thoughts and your rating.
Final thoughts. This is a con I want to go to every year, whether it's in Texas or one of the other locations. Like, this is a must-go con. And
agreed.
Oof. And maybe I'm biased because it was the folks I was with. You guys just made the experience that much more fun, like you were saying, with everything we got to do together. But that being all said, 8.5 out of 10.
8.5, solid score. That's a great score. What about you, Krista?
I loved this con, and like Trey says, like I want to go to all of them, and then at least this one every year. And I would give it a 9 out of 10, strictly because, and it's only knocked that 1 point out because the pools closed at 5, and we didn't get to play mermaids at the time we wanted to play mermaids. We did still get to play mermaids, but
the dark just hits.
We got 2 on Sunday.
It's in the dark. It's different. So I think 5 is like dark. So that's the point off. But still, this con is probably one of the best cons that I've ever been to. So,
what about you, Gigi? What is your final thoughts and rating?
I give it a 10 out of 10. I think because we never hit any hiccups on the con side. Like, we walked in, they literally knew who we were. They had our badges.
Insane.
Everything was so easy to find. If we didn't know when a panel was, there were screens telling you where panels were. I gave it a 10. I give it a 10 out of 10 just because it was such an easy con to attend and get content. So that's my opinion on it. I loved it. I want to go back. I didn't want to leave. I'm gonna live there. I'm gonna become one with the Kalahari.
Just what more with it?
Yeah, I'm gonna just hide with one of those like statues that's like in the lobby.
It's gonna be the lady in white.
Yes.
Around the hotel.
Exactly. Like, is
They're
that
just gonna think it's another cosplayer.
exactly? Like, yeah, she came and she never left. Yeah. They're like, it's crazy. There's always like 3 of these like spinach and feta croissants missing every morning.
God.
And it's just me like sitting eating them.
Like a little squirrel.
Yeah. It's the ghost lady tax.
Yeah.
What about you, Juan?
I'm gonna agree with Gigi on this one. 10 out of 10. Because the venue's great, the accommodations were great, the con is right downstairs, the cosplayers were the most positive, body positive, just super supportive crowd that I think we've ever experienced. The con itself was fun. There was so much to do. It's a con that you can't do everything even if you try.
Yes.
So you're going to have to go to the next one. You're going to have to go again. I'm excited to get the opportunity to go again. The staff, knowing who we were, was super surreal and awesome and super humbling. I think we were all just kind of like, oh,
what?
Yeah, that's us.
Well, because they're saying our catchphrases and we're like,
yeah, it was cool
behind us.
We're like,
and I think
who's here?
I think because it was mutual. It's a con we have been wanting to attend for so long, and the fact that they wanted us there and invited us and were so gracious with the access.
Yes,
it felt like superhero. It felt like Superhero Comic Con, and I know that's our homecoming con. That's the con we love going to. We get amazing access that we're super grateful for. So I think this is up there with the way they were accommodating of us. The type of people that are there are very much so like Superhero. Everybody's nice and kind. It's not super congested. It's very well planned out. Everything is scheduled. You can see it on the app. This was clean. 10 out of 10 for me. Colossal Con Texas, chef's kiss. And it was their best year yet. It was their most attended year yet. So this thing is growing and getting bigger and bigger. I can't wait till we have the opportunity to check out possibly Colossal Con North, Colossal Con Prime, like in Ohio. Oh,
yeah.
I am so ready for it. If it's anything like this, sign me up. I'll go tomorrow. I'll sleep in the parking lot if I have to. This con has it. This con has me. We'll be there. So that's our thoughts on Colossal Con, guys. We want to thank you so much for watching this review of it. If you get the chance and Colossal Con is in your neck of the woods, highly suggest you go down there. We can't wait to get to more of them.
Yes.
We'll have to wait a year for it to come back to Texas. But like I said, we're invited to others. We'll see y'all there. If you see us at Colossal Con, please stop us, say hi. We'd love to get some photos or video of your cosplay. That's what this show is about, guys. We're about spotlighting cosplayers and creatives and just spreading the con culture. So thank y'all, guys. We'll see y'all next time.
He said it. He said it.